Hey guys, it's Kat and I'm back today for my first proper review of the year, which is exciting. I still have to do my fails of 2017 and I will do that. I might film that after this, but I really wanted to talk about this guy. So this is the new palette from Too Faced. It's the chocolate gold palette. It is in their chocolate bar range that has been out for what feels like decades, not quite, but they had the original chocolate bar, semi-sweet, bonbons, the chocolate chip palettes, which were the mini ones, and then they had the white chocolate chip palette, and now they've got the chocolate gold. Now this, I wanted to get this done now because this is coming out in Australia, I think later this week, so it's exciting that it's being released. I was luckily enough sent this from a subscriber of Beauty News for Christmas. So I have actually been trying this since, I think I started it just after New Year's. So I have been playing with it for quite a few weeks. So before I go on to talking about the palette, I just want to say something about Too Faced. It was a brand that I used to support wholeheartedly and I still want to really support them. They have some fantastic products. Their eyeshadow glitter glue is my favorite eyeshadow primer ever. Their bronzers are great. Their melted matte liquid lipsticks are my favorite liquid lipsticks. I'm wearing one today. They've got some really good products. Their chocolate bar palette is a palette that I think is a staple, and if anyone is starting out in makeup and wants to buy an eyeshadow palette, I always recommend this one because you get a variety of shades in here, but they all work really well and you can create some really beautiful looks quite easily. So some of their products are fantastic, but they also are the type of brand that will jump on a gimmick and they will ride it until it's dead. And it's so boring to watch and it's so predictable and so frustrating that in recent years, half their releases I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then half I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So when I heard that they were doing a chocolate gold palette, I saw the swatches and I'm like, okay, you interest me. But then I thought, okay, they've done so many chocolate bar palettes and they've been doing it for years. Just let a theme die already. But then I actually used it and it's really fucking fantastic. So there is pretty much nothing that I dislike about this palette. The packaging is phenomenal. It is like they've taken the original chocolate bar palette. This is the original release, by the way, so it's a lot chunkier than the more recent ones. About a year after this came out, they made it a lot thinner, but it's like they've taken this and they've just dunked it in gold, and that's what this is. It's like, boop, and out comes like this. So the packaging is glorious. It's also funny and sort of tongue-in-cheek because Makeup Revolution, which is notorious for making rip-off palettes and products and selling it at a cheaper price, they made a rip-off version of the chocolate bar palette, but they had like this drippy kind of design on it. So it's like Too Faced are reclaiming that, but they're making it look better and higher end and actually make a lot more sense. So I love the packaging of this. Another improvement on the packaging over the previous palettes is that the mirror is a massive mirror. If you remember the old ones, I had this sort of cardboard thing around it which stopped it being like a full mirror, but now they've taken that off and they're like, okay, people want to see their whole face, not just like a little portion of their eyes. So you can see the pan design is also similar with the palettes. So they've got 2 large pans and 14 smaller pans. And the large pans should be shades that you use a lot of. So both of them have like a matte cream that's a large pan. And then this one's got like a highlighter kind of champagne pink, whereas this one has a bright gold. They both smell like chocolate or cocoa because the shadows do have cocoa in them. So this smells like chocolate. This not only has cocoa in it, but it has real gold. I don't know why, but it does. So I do think that everything they've done on this, it's like a nod to things they've originally done and what they've originally done really well, but they are just putting a twist on it and making it a little bit different and a little bit more special, which I do like. So when you look on the inside, this type of palette isn't going to be for everyone, but it's for people like me. So this is mainly a really intense metallic palette, and it's got 4 mattes. So it's got a dark brown, a black, a sort of like transition lighter brown, and a large pan of matte cream. So those are the mattes, but the rest are really intense shimmers. They're not sparkles. Too Faced are known to do some weird like matte shades with sparkles in them and they're just confusing. These are like pure metallics, and this isn't going to be for everyone. If you don't like a metallic shimmer, then there's no point you buying this palette at all. Like, it's not for you. But if you're like me, and I'm the kind of person that even on a like no makeup day, I would just use a wash of something like Love and Cocoa or one of their sort of like nudie shimmer shades, just dust it all over the lid, put some mascara on, and I'm good to go. It sort of brightens my eyes. The shimmer looks really flattering. Some of the colors in here are really, really wearable. And I really like that kind of look on a no makeup day or a work day. Other days, if I'm going out, I really like an intense kind of bling. And this is where this fits me as well. I'm not an all matte eyeshadow kind of girl. I know a lot of people out there love all matte looks, and this palette wouldn't be for you. I don't even know why you would consider it if you like all matte looks. But if you do like really intense metallic shades that are beautiful to wear, easy to use, and that look stunning, then this is a palette for you. If you're also like me and you've bought palettes before that are all shimmer or all glitter, and then you don't use them because you have to reach for other palettes to make them work, this one's great because you have the huge range of shimmers, but then you have the mattes you need to like anchor a look or complete a look. Now, I know for some people having a palette that you can create complete looks isn't their goal when they buy a palette, but for me it is. Like, I can always buy a special palette and go, okay, I'll open up my original chocolate bar palette to get the mattes out to complete this look. But if it's got just 4 shades of matte in there that helps me finish any look, I love it even more. I love it even more. So obviously I like this palette, but let's get on to swatches of the shades. So hopefully you can see by the swatches that these metallics are glorious. They are so easy to use. They perform so well. I haven't had any issues with any of them. They look gorgeous on the eye. They're beautiful. I also love the inclusion of the mattes because you can complete a look. Now today I'm wearing all the mattes. I've sort of set my base with the cream. I deepened my crease a little bit with the light brown, and then I deepened it a little bit with the dark brown, and I set my liner, sort of blended out my liner a little bit with the black. So they all work really well, and they're not the type of eyeshadow that you need to be careful with. You can just put them on, you can blend them out, they're really good to use. They're not the most pigmented in the world. They kind of remind me a little bit of the chocolate bar formula, so if you're familiar with this, it's got decent pigmentation, it applies quite nicely and easily, and you can build it up if need to. So, you know, if you want it the blackest black in the world, you're not going to get it from this palette, but if you want the goldest gold, you might get it from this palette. I really, really dig this palette. I've been using this palette for the past month or so, and besides the fact that there are some shades in here that I personally don't love, so on a daily basis I wouldn't reach for a pure silver, I wouldn't reach for a bright Pink, I don't love that the true gold is in the large pan because I feel like the most used shades should be in the large pans, and I would much prefer to use this sort of muted gold on a daily basis all over the lid than this bright gold. But I understand it is a gold themed palette and they want to kind of emphasize that theme by making gold the predominant color. So I get it. It's not as practical as I'd like it to be, but it's a theme. Also, Too Faced and known they always have to put a pink eyeshadow in a palette. I would have much preferred to seen like a beautiful blue or a teal or something, but once again, that's my personal preference. And I have used this pink. I'm wearing it on my eyes today and it does apply really nicely and it looks beautiful. It's scary when you first see it, but it is actually very wearable. I just thought I'd show you the look that I created today. I'm not wearing any lashes because I didn't want to distract from the look, but I've gone silver in the inner corner, so that's the true silver. I've got that yellow gold, I've got an orange color, the pink, and then I put a little bit of purple on the outer corner, which sort of got blended out a little bit, but it was a really, really simple look to create, and the only problem was I stuffed up my liner, but everything else was super easy to apply. Didn't have to build it up, didn't have to wear a glitter glue. This is just a MAC paint pot, and it looks intense and beautiful. So if you were wondering what shades I'm wearing the gold, I'm wearing that sort of orangey color, the pink, the purple, and then I went for the true silver on the inner corner. So even though all the shades aren't my personal favorites and I wouldn't be reaching for them every day, they all have a purpose in here. So for example, the black, if you want to make a smoky look and put a bunch of silver on it or a bunch of gold, like it makes sense. If you've got the pink, in a lot of other palettes of pink, you're just gonna go, what am I supposed to do with that? But with this, you've got a yellow gold, you've got oranges, you've got purples, you've got taupes, you've got all these kind of things that you can work with the pink to create beautiful looks. So everything in here fits and works. Even the green up here, like it works with the yellows, it works with these sort of like muted kind of browny gold kind of shades. So they don't just stand out as being, what am I supposed to do with that? You could always work them with other shades and they all look gorgeous. So before I go, I do want to show you roughly how the metallics compare to some of these shimmery shades in here. So they do have shimmery shades in the Chocolate Bar palette, but they're not metallic. None of these are as metallic as these. So I'm just comparing some sort of similar shades. I've got 2 browns, one from each palette, and 2 sort of muted golds, one from each palette. So this is from the gold one. So once again, super, super metallic and gorgeous. This is like a shimmer shade from the Chocolate Bar. Once again, beautiful formula, but not as reflective. Then I have one from the golden one, so once again super, super, super metallic and gorgeous, and this is a gold shade from the original Chocolate Bar. So once again, they're all a beautiful formula. If you like that pigmentation and that softness of the original Chocolate Bar palette, you'll like the metallic, but they are just a little bit more like intense and shimmery and just a little bit more special, and I think I've just been reaching for that a lot these days, and this palette has done it for me. I really, really enjoy this palette. And like I was saying before, if some of these shades don't suit the way I do my makeup on a regular basis, I can still respect them because they're such good quality. Like this silver, this really cool tone silver, I wouldn't wear normally. It's just not a color I'd wear, but I've used it on the inner corner today just to make the inner corners pop compared to the other shimmers. And look, it's a respectful silver. Like, I don't wear silver, but if I'm gonna wear a silver, it's gonna be that silver. So if you're sitting there and going, I don't know if I should buy that palette, I would say that if you're like me and you're the type of person that likes to put a beautiful metallic shade all over the lid and then just blend it out and finish it with mattes, and you really did like the formula of the original Chocolate Bar palette, you thought it was easy to use, the chocolate smell is nice, all that kind of stuff, I would highly recommend this. This has a beautiful mix of, it's got a few pops of color that can make something a little bit more fun, but at the same time it's got enough nude, like these kind of shades, they're all sort of nude shades that you can wear every day and just have like a one eyeshadow look. Just put it on, blend it out, and off you go. This is a really easy and enjoyable palette to use. So for all my Aussie viewers, this is coming out, I think later this week. I'll put the date at the top of the description box. It's releasing in Mecca, so do check it out online or in store. I do think you'll be pleasantly surprised if you go in store and swatch it. These are beautiful, really easy to work with. I just really like them. I also think that this is a really good, it's almost like Too Faced is back on track with their releases and the quality. I know that a lot of their palettes in the last couple of years, it's like hit and miss. Some shades are nice, some are pretty shit. They've doubled up on a lot of shades, they've regurgitated a lot of products, and I feel like they're finally, it seems like they're trying again with this. A lot of people will disagree because they're like, oh, so many shimmers, what's the point? But if you love a shimmer, this is fantastic. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Let me know what you think of this palette, if you've tried it yourself, if you've swatched it in store, or if you just have seen it, and what your thoughts are. I'm curious. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.